You lock eyes with a deer at the edge of a field. It stops completely. Not a muscle moves, not an ear, not a tail. For 3, 4, 5 seconds, it becomes a statue that breathes. You didn't shout at it. You didn't run toward it. You just looked. And something 300 million years old switched on behind those eyes. That deer isn't confused, and it isn't stupid. Its brain just ran a calculation faster than you could blink. The answer came back cold and simple. A predator is staring at me. 2 eyes facing forward, locked on. In the wild, that exact pattern means only one thing. You have been seen, and being seen is how a lot of animals die. So here's the real question. Why does a look, just a look, freeze an animal solid? You're not touching it. You're not even moving toward it. You could be 40 feet away, unarmed, completely harmless. And yet, a rabbit locks up, a lizard turns to stone. A bird flattens itself against a branch and holds its breath. All because your eyes happen to cross its eyes. You'd think an animal built by survival would run the instant it saw danger. Sprint, flee, put ground between itself and the threat. But it doesn't run, it does the opposite. It stops dead and hopes for the best. And most of the time, unbelievably, that quiet gamble actually works. Stillness has saved more animal lives than raw speed ever has. Think about that for a second. Evolution deletes every bad idea ruthlessly over millions of years. And it decided that sometimes the smartest move is to do absolutely nothing. That only makes sense if the eyes themselves are the danger. It's not one thing. It's never one thing. There are at least 5 layers stacked under that frozen stare, and each one is stranger than the last. We'll start with the eyes on your own face. Then we'll climb inside the brain and watch the freeze happen. And by the end, I'll show you the twist. The same signal that means death in the wild also means love. Let's go. Here's the thing nobody tells you about your own face. To most animals on Earth, your face is the face of a hunter. Just look at where your own 2 eyes sit. They point forward, side by side, aimed at whatever you're looking at. Now picture a lion, a wolf, a hawk, a shark. Their eyes point forward too, for the exact same reason. Forward-facing eyes give you binocular vision and sharp depth perception. Depth is what you need to judge a pounce or a strike. Predators evolved eyes on the front so they can hunt. Now look at a deer, a rabbit, a horse, a pigeon. Their eyes sit out on the sides of the head. That gives them a huge, nearly all-around field of view. Prey evolved eyes on the sides so they can spot danger early. Naturalists even have a little rule for it. Eyes on the front, the animal hunts. Eyes on the side, the animal hides. So when a prey animal sees 2 eyes pointed straight at it, alarm bells ring. That shape, that arrangement, is the silhouette of every hunter it fears. Your kind, empty, coffee-in-hand stare doesn't matter to it one bit. The eyes gave you away before you said a single word. And it's not only mammals that read this ancient signal. A crab will freeze, a fish will bolt, a fly will scatter from a looming eye. The fear of a staring pair of eyes runs across almost the whole animal kingdom. Human eyes actually make it worse because we have bright white around the iris. That white ring makes it painfully obvious exactly where we are looking. Most predators hide their gaze, but ours broadcasts it like a spotlight. So to a nervous animal, your face is a hunter that can't stop announcing itself. Now let's go inside the animal and watch the freeze actually happen. Because freezing is not a choice, it's a switch. It fires long before the animal has any time to think. Deep in the brain sits a little alarm bell called the amygdala. The instant those forward eyes lock on, the amygdala screams threat. It fires a signal down to a region called the periaqueductal gray. That region sits in the midbrain and coordinates raw survival behavior. And here's the part that surprises almost everyone. Fight or flight is supposed to speed the heart up, but in a full freeze, the heart actually slows down. Scientists call this fear bradycardia. The parasympathetic system hits the brakes through the vagus nerve. Heart rate drops, breathing goes shallow, everything gets very, very still. That's not the animal fainting from fear. That's a program running exactly as it was designed. And the program has a brilliant reason to keep the body still. Most predators have eyes finely tuned to detect movement. A running shape lights up a hunter's brain like a firework. But a frozen, motionless shape barely registers to it at all. Motion also triggers the chase reflex, and chasing is what predators do best. So the safest thing a spotted animal can do is nothing. It's like a submarine going silent and hoping the sonar sweeps past. Stillness beats speed when the enemy hunts by movement. That's not a metaphor. That's natural selection. There's another reason stillness is so quietly powerful. When you freeze, your brain doesn't shut down, it actually sharpens. Scientists describe freezing as a state of attentive immobility. The body goes silent, so the senses can go loud. Ears swivel, pupils widen, and all attention locks onto the threat. The frozen deer is not a deer that gave up. It's a deer gathering information at maximum resolution. In that stretched half second, it's deciding exactly when and where to run. Freezing buys the one thing a hunted animal never has enough of: time. But it goes deeper than just the shape of your eyes. The direction of a stare carries information too. A predator with its eyes pointed away might not have noticed you. A predator with its eyes locked on has almost certainly seen you. To a prey animal, a direct stare is the worst news possible. It means the risk just jumped, and there may be no time left. Scientists measured this using eye tracking, and the result is genuinely wild. In one 2024 study, both humans and chimpanzees watched predators' eyes. They fixated on the eyes of lions and snakes more than on prey. And a forward-facing, staring gaze grabbed attention harder than an averted one. Especially with lions, a direct stare pulled the eye like a magnet. So the fear isn't just the shape of the eye, it's the aim of the eye. This runs through the whole primate world too, including us. Among monkeys and apes, a hard direct stare is a threat display. The dominant one holds the stare. The subordinate one looks away. That instinct is still sitting quietly inside you right now. Think about the last time you locked eyes with a stranger on a train. 2 seconds in, you probably glanced away, and you barely know why. That's the same ancient alarm the deer just felt in the field. Let's be honest, you're a lot more animal than you like to admit. There's a reason this feels so intense between people too. Holding eye contact floods you with arousal, the alert kind, not the romantic kind. Your heart rate shifts, your focus narrows, your body braces slightly. That's why a long stare can feel like a challenge or a confession. Whoever can hold the stare without flinching often holds the power in the room. It's the same game the lion and the antelope have played for ages. Now here's a response that looks like freezing, but is something else. Some animals don't just go still. They collapse, go limp, and appear completely, convincingly dead. This is called tonic immobility, and it is not acting. Freezing happens the moment a prey animal first spots a predator. Tonic immobility usually kicks in after the predator has actually caught it. The animal goes rigid, then floppy. The heart and breathing crawl. It can be moved, posed, even flipped over, and it stays limp. And here's the eerie part connected directly to eyes. Studies show tonic immobility lasts longer when the predator is close and watching. The more visible the predator's eyes are, the deeper the frozen state. The animal is reading the threat and holding still until it passes. You can see lighter versions of this all over the animal world. A rabbit held too long goes floppy and glassy-eyed in your hands. A lizard clutched by a bird can lock its legs straight and still. Some snakes, like the hognose, roll over, gape their mouth, and play dead. The hognose even releases a foul smell to sell the illusion of rot. People say playing possum like it's a clever little party trick. It isn't clever, and it isn't a decision at all. It's an involuntary reflex the animal simply cannot switch off. So why would faking death ever help you survive? Because many predators lose interest in prey that isn't moving or struggling. Some won't eat something that looks like it's already dead and rotting. A limp body sometimes gets dropped, and dropped means a chance to run. So the animal gambles its whole life on looking like a corpse. Humans have known about this frozen state for centuries, mostly by accident. Hold a chicken gently, tuck its head down, and draw a line in the dirt. The bird will lie there frozen, staring at that line for whole minutes. For ages, people called it chicken hypnosis, like some barnyard magic trick. It's not magic, it's tonic immobility, triggered by restraint and fear. Charles Darwin himself timed how long chickens stayed frozen after being held. Sharks do something even stranger along the very same lines. Flip certain sharks upside down and they slide into a motionless trance. Their muscles relax, their breathing steadies, and they simply stop fighting. Researchers use this to handle big sharks safely without hurting them. Even orcas have learned the trick to hunt great white sharks. An orca flips the shark over, holds it still, and the predator freezes. The most feared fish in the ocean, shut down by its own reflex. Now here's my favorite twist in the whole story. Some animals are so afraid of eyes that they grew fake ones. Look closely at a peacock butterfly or a big silk moth. On their wings sit two enormous circles that look exactly like eyes. Dark center, bright ring, staring straight out at you. When a bird moves in, the butterfly snaps its wings wide open. Suddenly, a tiny snack is flashing two huge eyes at the attacker. In a 2013 experiment, those eye spots scared young birds that had never seen them. The birds jumped back, hesitated, and often gave up the meal completely. Older experiments found the more eye-like the spot, the better it worked. Predators behave as if the fake eyes are truly looking back at them. The eye spots pull off a clever second job too. They drag an attack away from the fragile head and body. A bird pecks at the fake eye on the wing edge instead. The butterfly escapes with a torn wing instead of a torn body. So a creature with a brain the size of a pinhead figured it out. Nothing in nature is scarier than a pair of watching eyes. Farmers and scientists have borrowed this exact trick for the real world. In parts of Africa, people paint big eyes on the backsides of cattle. Lions that rely on ambush hate the feeling of being watched. A herd of cows with painted eyes gets attacked far less often. Fishermen do the same thing, painting eye spots on nets, boats, and buoys. It keeps hungry diving birds from stealing the whole day's catch. Even some airports mount giant staring eyes to scare flocks off the runway. The fear is so reliable that we now weaponize it on purpose. Two dark circles and a stare, and a very old brain flinches. Before we go further, let's quickly kill one popular myth. People love to say a deer in headlights is just plain stupid. It isn't stupidity, it's the same freeze program, badly overloaded. A deer's eyes are built for near-total darkness, packed with light-catching cells. Bright headlights slam into those eyes and completely wash out its vision. It can't see past the glare to know where the danger even is. And the hardwired response to sudden, overwhelming threat is to freeze. So the deer locks up, blinded, waiting for information that never comes. It is not a dumb animal, not even a little. It's an ancient program meeting a machine it was never built for. Now let's be honest about what all of this doesn't mean. None of this makes eye contact some kind of magic force field. Freezing is only one option in what scientists call the defense cascade. The sequence runs roughly: freeze, then flee, then fight, then collapse. If you crowd a frozen animal, you can flip it to the next stage. The same amygdala that slammed the brakes can slam the accelerator. A cornered raccoon or a startled moose can explode into a sudden attack. So please don't try to stare down a wild animal to feel powerful. The freeze is a fragile truce, not a real surrender. Push it too far and the whole quiet deal is off. Respect the stillness and give the animal room to leave. And here's something worth sitting with for a moment. Freezing isn't only an animal story, it's a deeply human one too. People freeze in car crashes, in emergencies, in moments of sudden shock. Trauma researchers see the very same amygdala and brainstem circuits light up. The person who couldn't move or scream in a terrifying moment wasn't weak. Their brain ran the oldest survival program there is, the freeze. It's the same switch in the same place that stops the deer. So when you feel yourself lock up under threat, remember what that really is. It's not failure. It's a very old biology quietly trying to protect you. Okay, one last thing, and I saved it because it's the wildest part. Everything so far says the same message. Two eyes locked on means danger. So how did we end up with a pet that adores our stare? Here's the twist that flips the entire story on its head. Evolution took the most threatening signal in nature and rewired it into love. The animal that did it is sleeping on your floor right now. In a 2015 study in the journal Science, researchers measured something incredible. When a dog and its owner hold a long gaze, both release oxytocin. Oxytocin is the same bonding hormone shared by a mother and her baby, and it forms a warm loop between the two of you. The dog looks at you, your oxytocin rises, and you gaze warmly back. Your gaze pushes the dog's oxytocin up, so it gazes even more. Round and round, a chemical feedback loop built entirely on eye contact. And here's the real kicker. Wolves simply don't do this. Raised the very same way, a wolf won't hold your gaze like that. Somewhere in becoming dogs, they aimed the mother-baby wiring straight at us. Dogs even learn to follow exactly where our eyes and fingers point. A wolf usually ignores that, but a dog checks your face for direction. They read our eyes the way we read a close friend's, instinctively. The predator's stare became the loving look in the same family of animals. Cats play a quieter version of the exact same eye game. A hard, unblinking stare still reads as a threat to a cat, but a slow blink, with the eyes softly narrowing, says "I mean no harm." In a 2020 study, cats slow blinked back at owners who slow blinked first. Strangers who slow blinked were more likely to be approached and trusted. The cat is literally switching off the threat by softening its own eyes. Even horses read our eyes with a startling amount of precision. A horse can tell whether a human is looking at it or away. Approach with a soft, indirect gaze and the horse stays calm. March straight at it with a hard stare and it tenses to flee. Every animal we've ever tamed, we tamed partly through the eyes. We slowly learned to soften the one signal that once marked us as killers. So the same organ that triggers pure terror also carries deep tenderness. Eye contact freezes the wild and bonds the tame from one identical signal. Think about how strange that really is for a second. The wolf that would freeze you with a stare became the dog that melts you. Same eyes, same signal, but a completely opposite ending. Domestication didn't invent some brand new behavior out of nothing. It took the scariest thing in nature and turned the volume down into love. So next time an animal locks eyes with you and turns to stone, you'll understand. You're not looking at a scared, stupid creature that simply glitched. You're looking at 300 million years of survival, doing the math on you. 2 eyes, forward, locked on, and a brain quietly asking one question. Is this the last thing that I will ever see? And next time your dog looks up across the room and just holds it, notice. That soft, steady gaze is really not nothing at all. It's the oldest warning in nature, turned completely inside out. The same eyes that once meant run now quietly mean stay. That quiet standoff in the field is older than trees, older than us, and you carry a small piece of it behind your own eyes. Look a little longer next time and really see what looks back at you.